Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing our early retirement full-time travel 2024 budget, and this is hot off the presses.
Yeah, we just came up with it today. We finalized
We just finished it, yes.
So we're going to share it with you and let you know everything we're doing, where we're going, how much it's going to cost, and we're pulling out our entire bag of tricks today to share with you how we are going to get under our normal budget for 2024. So we're starting off, we're going to go tell you where we're going to be. January, we're starting off, we're going to go month by month. We generally are going to spend a whole month in one place and then move on to the next place. A few places will be for more than a month, but the first month we're going to be in Thailand, which is where we are right now as we're filming this. And it's something that we already have booked, so this one is solid and concrete. A few of these may change as we go along in 2024, but this one is already solid. And we're pretty excited because we already got our housing lined up, and that's going to cost us $1,000 for the month. What's that housing going to look like?
And we're talking about for $1,000 a month in Thailand, in Bangkok this is going to be, so major city in this country, and we're looking at a luxury condo in a high-rise building with gorgeous views of the city. We'll have all kinds of amenities, gym, co-working spaces, rooftop pool, all kinds of fabulous amenities right there on the property. So for $1,000, it's really quite a steal in a city like Bangkok.
Yeah, it is a steal. That's why we're starting out there. We basically put that into the budget every single year. I don't think there's been a year yet where we haven't included Bangkok in it, because it is one of the best values of full-time travel. So we're going to go through every one of these housing options and then kind of circle back and tell you about all the other things we're going to spend in each city. So month 2, we're going to fly to Indonesia, and this is going to be a new thing for us. We've been to Bali, but we're going to go to Yogyakarta. That's on the plan for now, and the reason we're going there, and you can see in the budget here, we have a 0 for the housing budget for Indonesia, and that is because we are going to be staying at the Yogyakarta Marriott, and we're going to do it for free with points. So with the points, that's 42,500 points for a 5-night stay, which is 8,500 points a night. That works out to 238,000 points for the month, which we happen to have. And we're going to dump that in there and basically stay for the whole month for free. So tell us how, or tell the viewers how we got those points and how they could also get them too.
Well, we do use, if you've watched other videos here on the channel, we do some travel hacking by using the credit cards and a lot of the benefits and the advantages that they offer. And this one was with the Marriott card, and we have more reviews and information about those cards here on the channel, so you can always check those out. But that's how we do it, is by using our credit cards. And as always, we do like to remind people that these hacks only work by using these points like this, only work if you pay off your card every single month. Never ever carry a balance and you're not paying any interest or anything like that.
Exactly. So we basically, you can get, depends on when you're doing it, but you can often get something like a 100,000 point sign up bonus, and then you can each get 200,000 points per year right now in referrals. So that's 400,000 points just in referrals. You get 40,000 points per referral. So you can see, just by referring 6 people, you can stay at this hotel for free for a month. That's pretty incredible. We travel a lot, so we know a lot of people that travel. It's not that hard to get these referrals. That's how we're going to do it. Now, I'm going to skip over just a second and tell you about the food here, because it's part of this hotel plan. It's pretty amazing. Because we do stay with Marriott a lot, we are Platinum Elite with them. That's going to give us the free breakfast benefit every morning at this hotel. And it is a lavish spread. It's basically going to fill you up for the day at the Yogyakarta kitchen they have there. But also it gives you access to the M Club, which is the top tier Marriott club, and they're going to be free food throughout the day, free food at dinner. So basically all your food is going to be included in this stay for the 238,000 points. We will, of course, walk around and order other food, so we have we have
Some
$700
variety.
written down for food there. But it is going to basically be free housing and free food for the month, so that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's completely worth it.
It is, and we're excited to try that one out. So moving on, March, another new place we're going to try is going to be India, and we are looking at the Chennai Park Hyatt. 5,000 points per night, 31 nights, 155,000 points total. And again, we already have those points because you can use your Hyatt credit card. But the other thing you can do with Hyatt is you can transfer Chase Ultimate Rewards points 1-to-1 to Hyatt, and that is how we're going to do it because we do have the Chase Sapphire Reserve credit card, which is one of our favorite cards.
It is. If you haven't seen that video, it's here on the channel too. We'll tell you a lot more about it there.
So then moving on, April and May, we're going to go to Vietnam. We were in Vietnam a few months ago. Absolutely loved it. Ho Chi Minh City. What's the apartment situation there? We're going to be spending about $1,100 a month.
And this is actually on the high end for Vietnam because we're going to be staying in one of the pricier districts to be in. And it's going to be, again, another luxury high-rise building with, a gorgeous gym, gorgeous rooftop pools, all types of amenities, guards, at the front, and even like a convenience store down in the main level as well. So everything kind of in that one building. Oh, and a Starbucks too. We did love staying there. We enjoyed all the services and all of the amenities at this building. So it was really fantastic to stay there. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous apartment. And also, one of the great things about this particular apartment, which is what sold me right out of the gate when you showed it to me, was that it had not just a washer, but a washer and a dryer, which is really like, the crown jewel of housing in Southeast Asia.
Okay, so moving on, that's going to be 2 months. Moving on, and June is going to be spent in the UAE, specifically in Dubai. That'll be a hotel stay. That'll be through IHG. Again, same deal. Get the points through the sign-up bonus. We've both done it. We have 300 and some thousand points with them. So it won't be terribly difficult to get. We're looking at Staybridge Suites Financial Center there, and it's pretty nice because it's a hotel, but it comes with like a living room and a kitchen also.
Yes, and it's not what you think of. The experience that you're getting and the level of luxury that you're getting in the U.S. in a Staybridge Suites in comparison to what you're getting in Dubai with the Staybridge Suites, it's a huge difference between the two of them. So don't poo-poo it just because it's the Staybridge Suites. It's going to be the most luxurious Staybridge Suites you've ever seen.
Okay, next up we're going to be coming home. United States is next on the list. And this is always the tricky one because, and we will stay some time with some family and friends there, but we're not counting that into this budget because we don't really know what's going to happen yet. But we're going to try something new because we want to stay in some different cities that we've never been to. And the housing costs, I'm sure you know, have really risen. But we did find this new program called Hello Landing, and specifically Hello Landing Standby. What they do is they have a network of apartments that they rent out, and you can basically get a membership to this company, and for $1,495 a month, you can stay in any apartment you want. The catch is, once somebody actually rents that apartment for the higher price, which is like, $3,000-4,000 a month, then you have 3 days to leave and you can move to another apartment in their network. So that's not that bad for us because we don't have that much stuff with us. We just have what we can carry.
It's easy to move.
It's easy to move, and they have plenty of apartments in the city. So if you go in one and you're in there for 2 weeks and they say, oh, someone rented it, you got to evacuate, you can just pick any other apartment they have in the city, and they have plenty. So we're going to try Seattle, we think, for these 2 months, for July and August. Want to go see some Mariners games, that kind of thing. So the cost of this is $14.95 a month. You'll notice the first month is $18.94. That's because there's a $399 per year fee. So we're going to try this out. Pretty excited about it. I think it'll be good. We just don't know because we've never done it before, but stay tuned. Find out how that works out.
Yeah, it's a fairly new concept. And so, we don't know exactly how that's going to look in real life when you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
It sounds really good on paper. It's just, it would be interesting to see how quickly, if at all, they ask you to leave.
It will be interesting. And if we really do love that, we may end up staying more time and maybe try some other cities. But the plan after that is to go to Canada. And one of the reasons we want to go to Canada, we want to see some hockey games. We also want to try to see the Northern Lights in 2024. And we spent a month in Edmonton last year. We really enjoyed that. So we're going to try a few other Canadian cities. We've got $1,300 a month budgeted. That'll be through Airbnb. And it's not really that difficult to find a nice place in Canada for that $1,300 a month.
Yeah, for sure. So that's not going to be bad at all. We should be able to, especially because it's the winter time, the prices will be down a little bit.
Yeah. So food and eating out, we'll kind of go through those together. This is another really big part of your budget. Thailand, this is January, we eat out quite a bit in Thailand. We don't cook that much because there's so much amazing food, right?
Yes, and honestly, as a part of the culture, you don't really end up cooking a lot at home. We'll eat mostly breakfast and lunch and then grab dinner, whether you eat out in a restaurant or you just go grab some street food and bring it back and eat it. That's generally what's a part of the culture. It's so inexpensive that we just don't spend that much money, and it's honestly more expensive to try to buy the ingredients to make some of the same things that we buy for not much on the street.
Yeah, and the budget here is kind of higher than you need though, because when we go to eat out, we don't just go, to McDonald's. We're going, they do have some really nice places here, like the Marriott has a buffet you can go to. You can get really good deals on all kinds of buffets and Brazilian restaurants, all kinds of stuff like that. So we'll show you some of that, but that's kind of how we eat out in Thailand. That's why the budget could definitely be lower, but it doesn't need to be. We've already talked about Indonesia, how it's going to mostly be free hotel food. And then in India, at the Park Hyatt, we won't have a kitchen. So it's going to be pretty much all eating out. So that's why we've got $1,000 there for that budget. Vietnam, the food is so inexpensive that we've only got $600 a month budgeted for food there.
Yeah, not only is the food inexpensive in the grocery store, but even ordering out is inexpensive there as well. I mean, we've gotten Chicago deep dish pizza there, ramen, all kinds of stuff. They have all different types of cuisines. It's just easy to get a great variety, and it's so inexpensive, especially to have it delivered is wild.
Then in Dubai, we will have a kitchen, so we will be cooking quite a bit. We will still eat out quite a bit there. But the United States and Canada, you can see the budget really goes up. The groceries are going to really go up. And maybe by the time we get there, they'll have gone up even more than this. But that is going to be the bulk of our food budget, is the U.S. and Canada. We still will eat out some there, a couple times a week probably. But that's the bulk of it. We don't really, you could do these categories cheaper than we are, but we don't really see a reason to skimp because our overall budget is still pretty low.
Right.
For local transport, we basically are budgeting for Ubers and Metros when they have them. And when you're in Southeast Asia, that's going to be really, really low. When we're in the US, we generally are trying to stay at places in like Seattle or Edmonton in Canada, where we just walk everywhere. So that's kind of the strategy there. You'll note the one that we have that's higher is India. When we go to India, we do want to try some trains, right? And that's why we've got that budgeted.
Yeah. So that's they're not super expensive there, obviously, but it's gonna drive the budget up a little bit more there for transportation.
Exactly. And then for entertainment, we've budgeted $100 per month entertainment in the Asian countries and $200 in the North American countries. And the reason for that is we're going to go to a lot of ball games in Canada and the U.S., baseball and or hockey. So that'll raise our budget. Our medical insurance is $240. We do have a video out about that. And if you want to see that, but that's basically a fixed cost. That'll be the same every single month. And then our cell phone, is pretty cheap. This is for both of us to have cell phone and data coverage in every country. And we use a new company this year, and it's been really amazing.
Yes, we've been using Airalo, and it is an eSIM, so you have to make sure that you have a phone that will accept an eSIM, and it's just made things a million times easier for us. We purchased the eSIM before we arrive in said country, set it all up on our phone. All we have to do when we land is turn our phone off of airplane mode, and voila, we've got service. So we don't have to stand in line when we get to the airport to get a SIM card, or we don't have to wait until the next day or whatever to get a SIM card. We can get it. We already have it when we land. And they're so inexpensive that it's amazing.
It is amazing. It's honestly the best thing that's happened this year. Is finding that, because I really don't like having to go to a electronics store and get an eSIM put in my phone. This is just
they register
SIM.
your passport with the SIM card. Like it's a whole
It's an ordeal.
Yeah.
Next category is going to be transit, and this is basically getting from country to country. And a lot of people ask about this. These are our estimates of what it's going to cost. You'll notice the biggest one is getting to the United States, $1,200. That's pretty much subject to change though, because the last 2 years we have come back to the U.S. on a transatlantic cruise, and if one of those pops up, I think we
will be popping on.
We will be getting on. So yeah, because that's a really good deal, because you're going to basically pay for the $1,200 flight and then 2 weeks of your living, which is basically equivalent to $1,500 to $2,000. And the last 2 years for the transatlantic cruise coming home, I think we've paid $1,600 and $1,700 total. So you really do save a lot of money coming home. If you figure the flight's going to be $1,200, you're only paying $400 to live for 2 weeks. So
yeah, and we actually do have a cruising channel, Grounded Life Cruises. We've shared a lot of these cruises on there. We've done quite a few transatlantic cruises, so make sure you guys check that out if you're interested in the cruising aspect of this.
And then the miscellaneous is an interesting one, because it really breaks down to what we're going to buy. We have to buy clothes, shoes, hats, sunscreen, all that kind of stuff too. That goes into this miscellaneous category. The thing is, the two highest ones on here are going to be Vietnam and Thailand, not because everything is expensive, but because everything is cheap, and that's where we buy everything.
That is where we stock up on things like medication and clothing and shoes. A lot of times electronics too, especially in Thailand. We get a lot of great deals, so we do update some of our equipment when we're in those countries.
Yeah, so that is going to be just a miscellaneous. And sometimes when you get into an Airbnb, maybe they don't have the kind of spatula you want. You want to go buy one for $1, or you need some Band-Aids, just anything that can happen. But that's what that category is for. Car rental, we don't normally rent cars, but we are planning in Canada to do a weekend trip to Banff, and that is going to be a car rental, $250, so we put that in there. So that totals up our budget, and if you've watched this channel, we say we're trying to stay under $4,000 a month. This budget came in at $36,279 for the year, which is just a tad over $3,000 a month. So we're pretty happy with it, because even with this budget, which is basically exactly what we want to do, we have $1,000 a month of wiggle room. And I don't really see in most of these countries how we could spend an extra $1,000.
I don't see it happening. And I think a big assistance to this is the use of those points on the hotel stays, because you're talking about 3 months worth of free stays, plus bonuses in several of those of having, your breakfast and snacks and some drinks and even dinner, and some of them included, or being able to have a kitchen even though it's a hotel. So those are really big, huge advantage.
Yeah, so our cheapest month will be February in Indonesia, $1,500. Most expensive will be in the United States, $5,100. That's mostly because of the transit fee to get there and the membership fee to the Hello Landing. But I think it's pretty clear that the average, is a little over $3,000. That's what it's looking like. And There's room in here we could cut, I think, if we needed to. I think if we needed to, we could get this budget to 24,000. I don't want to live like that though. And it would be honestly hard for us to get this budget over 4,000 a month. So I think we're pretty happy with how this has come out.
Yeah, I think this is a good medium because you're not living so low that it's challenging and that you're struggling, but you're also not just, you know, lavishly throwing money around. You're using all of the tools in the toolbox in order to come to what I find this is probably the most reasonable year I think that we've come up with a budget. I think this is the most reasonable one yet.
Yeah, it is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And there will be some things that come along that we want to do. And, you know, that's okay because we have that wiggle room. Because in our mind, our budget is 4,000, but on paper, it's 3,000. So, you know, if we want to do something that's not going to be a problem, we want to go do an extra trip somewhere, that's not going to be a problem. And we never know what good deals are going to come up. We could get better deals than this. We could get a lot more points than we're expecting. So things
And
can
even
change.
swap out some of these places just depending on, like you said, depending on the deals. We're always paying attention to cruises, to housing options. If there's better point redemptions for hotels, things like that, we're always looking for better options. So I think just paying attention to that is super helpful.
I think this is though why you want your income to be at around 4,000 as a minimum, because if our income was only 3,000, I would feel a little bit nervous about this $36,000 budget, because then if anything at all goes wrong, you're over budget. If you're bringing in 4,000 or more and you have this type of budget, you have that safety net built in, and when you're doing international travel, you really want that safety net, and it just makes everything a lot more comfortable.
Right, yeah, for sure. Well, guys, hopefully you've learned something here all along with us, and this is helpful to you as you're trying to think about what costs, if you're looking at full-time travel, what it's going to cost, what a budget would look like. This is kind of gives you an idea. I mean, we're in year 6 of doing this, so we've kind of honed in really well. And like I said, used all the tools in the toolbox to get this to a very reasonable number that we're comfortable with. Guys, if you have questions, I know you have questions, leave those down in the comments. Don't forget, if you want access to even more information, you can always sign up for memberships. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell so you can get an alert to all of our newest videos.